Dan is playing the drums, and good morning on this fine. What is today?
Good morning, Dan.
Do you know what today is, Dan?
Today is Hump Day.
I'm a day off because I wasn't here Monday, so it's all kind of squirrely to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Dan. Oh, Dan, you're such a good person. That's all.
What do you mean? Explain yourself.
I was running into a little snafu here, and he just said, "Do you want me to do that for you?"
You know,
I was like, "Yes, I do."
It's much easier to help someone else than to help yourself.
When you're running,
I'm not as stressed when you're under stress.
Right, and we were short on time to be ready, and I was a little bit off. So,
Well, you decided to do this on a day where it is have several guests, and
I did.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's okay.
No, okay. All right.
Can you switch our camera?
Sure.
That would be amazing.
You want that one?
Yeah, there we are.
There we go.
Good morning, people. We hope you're having a lovely day. The weather is going to be, I don't know what, not good, I think. But I've read several accounts on it may dissipate for a while. Who knows, you know? But I
think it's
had a
come in.
tornado warning on my phone. So.
I think we're going to have it coming in pretty good.
Do you think it's going to come in while we're here?
Don't
know.
Yes. I brought a raincoat and a little hat.
Oh, a little rain hat.
Little rain hat.
What about your little galoshes? Did you bring them too?
I brought my little my little, what do you call them?
Galoshes.
Galoshes.
Mm-hmm. I have a raincoat. It's in my car.
Yeah.
But I do have an umbrella.
Well, you're not using my hat.
Well, I'm not. Or your galoshes.
No.
You won't let me. Yeah. Wow, Dan. Way to be a friend.
Yeah. Well, I'd be your friend when the weather is nice.
Which it doesn't look like we're going to have nice weather all week, I don't think. But
yeah.
I wasn't going to just jump into the weather yet. But you know what? Here we are.
Uh-huh.
Do you like rain?
I like this kind of weather.
You like
but
the
I don't
stormy
like it.
Stuff?
Well, to a certain degree. When trees start falling on my house, I don't like that.
Do you have them right around your house, don't you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they've gotten bigger over the years, and they kind of lean in toward the house a little bit.
Oh, that's a little scary. Are any of them dead?
Yes.
Oh, that's problematic.
Oh, there's one that, and I look at it all the time, and I go, I think it'll fall this way, and I go, no, it's not going to fall that way.
Can you cut it yourself?
No, it's too big.
No.
And it won't fall the way I want it to fall. No, I could probably cut it down, but I'm afraid.
You should call a professional tree service.
I don't want to spend $1,000.
Well, then what are you going to do? Just get a new house when it busts your house up?
I don't know.
Huh.
Hopefully I don't have to have an insurance claim.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because there's the $1,000 deductible, right?
Y'all, you know, to be able to afford insurance, you have to have the deductible, or for us, so high that you're paying out of pocket.
Yeah, you might as well pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's how the world is, it seems like.
Insurance used to not be that way. In the 70s and 80s, I thought it was fair. You know, you paid your premium, and insurance people were happy when you had a claim, and they didn't raise your rates.
Or didn't deny you, like for, something.
World's gotten out of hand.
Has it?
Yes.
What are we going to do about it?
Well, there's several options. None of them look very good.
Oh.
So, you just got to do what you got to do with what you got.
You got to do what you got to go do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like car repairs, for instance.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to school 4 years in high school and learned that was called power mechanics. Is auto mechanics, auto mechanics, how to fix an engine and all that. So of course, that technology's all changed now.
Right.
But give me a car from the 1940s to 70s, mid 70s, I could probably fix it. But I mean, did he? Anymore, you got to have computers and you take it to the repair shop, and the repair shop guy says, "Oh, let me get on YouTube. I'll fix it." And they actually get on YouTube and find out what the problem is.
My guys have fixed a lot of stuff watching a YouTube video.
I know.
It's very helpful.
Yeah.
I just want to keep them around so I don't have to watch a YouTube video and try to, because it might name something that I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I guarantee that would happen.
Yeah, it's a wild world. Everything's based on profit.
Profit, and your car's going to fall apart. Your phone's going to be obsolete. All this stuff that you have to keep replacing.
Well, I think there's a big push to have all American cars made here in America.
Yeah.
See where that goes.
We'll
see if the cars get better. And
there are already. I mean, there are some that are made here. It was interesting because we saw a lot of Toyotas in St. Lucia. A lot.
Oh, really?
And Toyotas, aren't they made in America? I mean,
I think there's some manufacturing.
Some manufacturers in America, but maybe they come from Japan. I don't know there, but it was kind of interesting to see. Toyota was a predominant.
Well, the
and Fords.
The Japanese cars came out and they became like Honda, Honda and Toyota and Mitsubishi.
I'm not bitchy.
Well, that's up for debate. But no, they really made outstanding engines that lasted 100,000 miles and 200,000 miles, and that was uncalled for in American cars back in those days. So that technology's gotten a lot better.
Like they say, they don't make them like they used to, folks.
I know.
That's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to go back to we're going to
look at some weather.
Look at some weather. I'm looking outside, and it's rather gray and
a little different from that side of the desk, isn't it?
A little bit of rain is going to happen today, such as rain and thunderstorms likely before noon. Then rain, possibly a thunderstorm between noon and 3 p.m. Then a chance of rain continues after 3 p.m. Some of the storms could be severe and produce heavy rainfall. And I read somewhere possibly hail, all that kind of stuff. We're under a tornado watch, I think, now. High of 77, breezy with southwest wind up to 35 mile per hour gusts. Chance of precipitation is 90%. And new rainfall amounts between a quarter and half an inch possible. So we're going to have some rain. A 10% chance of rain after 5 a.m. This is on tonight's forecast, but that's actually in the morning, so that's a little confusing to me. But anyway, the low is 52. Thursday, a chance of rain and thunderstorms, then rain and possibly a thunderstorm after 7 a.m. Some of the storms could be severe and produce heavy rainfall. High near 63. Chance of precip is a 90% for tomorrow. And again, there'll be new rainfall amounts possible. Thursday night, rain likely and possibly a thunderstorm before 1 a.m., then a chance of rain and thunderstorms after 1 a.m. Some of the storms could be severe, again, produce heavy rainfall and possibly other things. The precipitation chance on Thursday night is 60% with a low of 53. Friday, showers and possibly a thunderstorm, high near 70. 100% chance of precipitation on Friday, and then Friday night showers and possibly a thunderstorm. Possible chance of precip is still at 100% even on Friday night. And on into Saturday, again, more showers, more thunderstorms, precipitation 100% with a high of 64, and Saturday night a low of 42. Again, precipitation is possible at 50%. Sunday, a 20% chance continues with the rain possibility and a high near 54. Sunday night, partly cloudy, low of 35. Monday, high 62. Tuesday, high is 65. And Monday night's low will be 35.
Okay.
So there is your... Well, I just did the whole thing because you were busy.
I know. I'm trying to find the weather.
Oh.
Let me see
He's
if I
trying to find the weather.
Let me see if I can get to it here.
So we can see where this big line of crud is.
Let's go to their Facebook page. Oh, can't do that. Can't do it.
Oh,
okay.
Can't do it.
Nah, oh well.
Well, there's going to be rain all week. It's going to be a wet, sloppy, yucky mess.
Yes.
So just be prepared. Bring your galoshes and your raincoat. That's all we have to say. All right. How about we jump into some pondering?
Okay.
From my
I
dear
think
person.
Yes, this week's topic to ponder is all about relationships.
Yeah.
And they're deep questions. Deep.
Very deep. And here we go.
Get up, get moving, get those thinking caps on. It's time to ponder this topic.
Is the ability to forgive more critical to a lasting bond than avoiding conflict altogether?
I think so.
Me too.
Because you're not going to always do everything. You're not going to be able to avoid every conflict.
if everyone else is wrong all the time and you're not forgiving, you might as well live by yourself.
You might as well, because you're going to be an unhappy soul.
Yeah. And that person probably says, well, my other relationship was a lot better than this one, or whatever, for whatever reason. And you might as well say, well, go.
Enjoy
what happened to that relationship?
You know, if you're not willing to forgive, then you're pretty well screwed in the world. I mean, I think. I was going to make sure this was up, and it is on our Facebook page. Go to the blue graphic that says, is the ability to forgive more critical to a lasting bond than avoiding conflict altogether? And Dan and I are both, yes, we need to be able to forgive. And I think the consensus is forgive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you need to avoid conflict.
Sure.
By letting that person have their space.
And their thoughts.
Yeah, you know, some people want you to console them when they're having a conflict.
Right.
And other people want to be left alone. So you got to figure that. You got to be, you know.
It took a long time with my spouse to kind of figure all that out.
Oh.
Because I was so used to one way, and he handled things the opposite way.
Right.
And I couldn't understand why he couldn't just adapt to my
well,
way.
And I would venture to say that he did adapt.
He just kept doing what he normally does.
No, he changed, didn't he?
It's probably somewhat, but I think I probably had to. You cannot change another person. I don't think you can physically,
right.
Can do that. You can only change the way you respond or the way you handle a situation.
You change that person by changing yourself, so they see that you've changed, so they will change.
I think that's very prominent. I do. And I think if people are, especially in a more intimate relationship.
Yeah.
I think that's,
Yeah. Okay.
So, well, there are plenty of people out there that have not responded on our Facebook page, so we invite you to go to Around the Table and find our graphic for today and answer that question.
And for those few hundred that has been neglecting to respond on our Facebook page, today is the day to do it.
And we want to remind people that we have a sponsor for the show, and that is Stone Bank.
Boulder Banking.
Huh?
Boulder Banking.
What does that mean?
Boulder.
Like BOLDE, like bold.
Yes.
Not a
That's
rock.
their slogan, Boulder Banking.
Boulder Banking.
Boulder Banking.
You want to just give us the whole...
That was it.
Okay.
Boulder Banking.
Okay. But thank you, Stone Bank, for that. We appreciate it very, very much.
Yes.
All right.
And our guest a little bit later on the show, when we come back from the break, it will be Clarissa Willis. She was going to be in the studio with us today. She's an author.
Okay.
And she's going to be here to talk about some of her books and her publishing company, I think. And but she texted this morning and said there's tornado warnings out, so she decided that she would just stay where she's at. I think she's coming from Eureka.
She's going to hunker down.
She's going to hunker down.
And then also we have a second interview
But we're going
to
call her. We're going to give her a call.
And then at our interview, we have another guest segment after that
with
Austin Mayer, Airport and Marketing Relations. And I think Judy McCutcheon will probably accompany him, I would figure. So we'll find out about that, too, after our first interview. And then such. Just stay with us for the hour. Come on, right?
All right.
Meanwhile, let's do some Today in History.
Okay.
We're doomed to repeat ourselves, so let's find out what happened today in history.
Okay, we cannot play this one. 69 years ago, two durable soap operas debuted on CBS. One was The Edge of Night, which later moved to ABC and stayed on until 1984. The other remained on CBS until 2010. And then the next one you need to not put on music. Go ahead.
57 years ago today, the influential science fiction film 2001, A Space Odyssey. I went to the drive-in to see that. And its world premiere in Washington. And the theme music, I'm trying to remember what that theme music. Could you play that for me?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we just won't know what the theme music is all about.
I think, no, I'm not playing it.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh.
The Argentine charge d'affaires has been summoned to the Foreign Office to be informed that diplomatic relations have been broken off.
43 years ago, I wish I could talk like that, Argentina seized the Falkland Islands, which had been in British hands since 1833. Argentina calls these islands the Malvinas, British Foreign Secretary Lord Carrington promptly announced a break in diplomatic relations. Britain would seize the islands back the following June.
We will break our diplomatic relations.
Yes. Yeah, isn't that the story? All right, next.
Santo Padre Giovanni Paolo II è tornato alla casa del Padre.
Can you
Preghiamo
please
per lui.
Okay, my
translate?
My Spanish is
I think it's Italian.
my Italian. Oh yeah. Okay, let me skew my brain. My Italiano is a little rusty, but I think I can I can translate. He said the Holy Father, Pope John Paul II, has returned to the house of his father. Pray for him. That's what he said.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, next.
The Catholic Church has lost its shepherd. The world has lost a champion of human freedom, and a good and faithful servant of God has been called home.
That was 20 years ago. Catholics lost a beloved pope, and that's what the previous one was about, too. John Paul II died at the Vatican at age 84, and President Bush offered his condolences. All right.
Though she was a freedom fighter and later a politician, Winnie Madikizela Mandela will chiefly be remembered for being Nelson Mandela's wife. They were married for 38 years, 27 of which he spent in prison. She became his voice on the outside.
My husband has been fighting for the liberation of the African people.
Winnie, too, would be tortured and jailed. Her activism is the reason some called her the mother of the nation. But she was not without controversy. Winnie was accused of involvement in the deaths, tortures, and abductions of numerous people. She'd say she was framed.
I did nothing wrong.
Winnie and Nelson divorced in 1996 on the grounds of her adultery, but she regularly visited him during his final days, speaking of their
great love, deep love.
This was 7 years ago. Anti-apartheid activist Winnie Madikizela Mandela, who'd been married for nearly 38 years to Nelson Mandela, died in Johannesburg Hospital at the age of 81. CBS News correspondent Peter King looked back on her life.
And the next one we don't have a clip for, but 4 years ago, rapper DMX was rushed from his home to a suburban New York hospital after going into cardiac arrest. He died a week later. And that report was from Jennifer Keeper.
Okay.
All right, and next.
I wanted my seasons to end where my team was either crying tears of joy or tears of sorrow, because then you knew that they gave everything. And I had a locker room filled with guys who were crying.
This was 3 years ago. Retiring Duke men's basketball coach Mike Zuen. I don't know his last name. If I heard it, I would remember it. Yeah. Anyway, this coach has had his final game, a loss of Ark Rivals, North Carolina, and the Final Four of the NCAA tournament in New Orleans.
Okay. And singer Emmylou Harris was born on this day 78 years ago. That would have been 1947. Her tender voice that moves seamlessly between country, folk, and bluegrass has won her a devoted following over 4 decades. And
I think it was Krasowski. Sorry.
Oh, okay. And then you can do number 10.
Let's see. April 2nd, 1973, actress Rosalind Sanchez was born 52 years ago. Her credits include Carmen Luna on Devious Maids, and they had a theme song which we are
forbidden to play.
Forbidden to play, yes.
Okay.
How far would you go to get what you came all this way for? Your answers. What would you be willing to do?
Actor Michael Fassbender was born 48 years ago. He's known for his roles in movies such as Steve Jobs and Prometheus.
And then American Idol winner Lee Deweezy was born on this day 39 years ago, and he had a version of the U2 hit Beautiful Day.
Sweet.
And that's
all right.
it.
That is it. And we will need to take a break. And when we come back, we will visit with Clarissa Willis on the phone.
Okay.
We invite you to, you're going to have to do it.
I know that.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
And Hometown TV, Channel 26.1.
And welcome back to Around the Table. We have Clarissa Willis on the phone. Clarissa, can you hear us?
Yes. Good
morning. How are you this morning?
I'm a little wet and waterlogged, but I'm fine.
Well,
I've already learned a very valuable lesson this morning, and that is when the wind knocks your fence down, your rescue dog comes home, and your overpriced hybrid dog runs down the street.
Oh,
my gosh.
Overpriced hybrid dog.
What kind of overpriced hybrid dog do you have?
I have a Cavapoo.
A Cavapoo?
Cavapoo. Cavalier and Poodle?
Poodle.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be darned.
And so here the little old lady is running down the street with a bag of treats in her down at 6:30 in the dark, screaming, "It's treat time! It's treat time!"
Please, the next time that happens, would you do some FaceTime with everybody so everyone could see what's going on?
You need to just make a reel of the whole thing.
There you go. There you go. Well, thanks for inviting me this morning. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you're welcome. We got connected with Charlotte. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I published Charlotte with my company.
Oh, well, good.
Good deal.
Good. We want to talk about your company, too. And this is this a grassroots company, or is it a pretty big operation?
No, it's very much grassroots. It's my retirement company. It's a company that helps indie authors, not self-published authors, but indie authors, create products that are market ready and ready to compete out there in the vast world of publishing.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And what do you have a certain format of book that it has to fit under, or can you customize just about any book that they want to do?
We do anything. Our big emphasis is children's, middle grade, and young adult, but we are getting into. We've done a couple of paranormals. We've done a couple of westerns. I have a book called The Elephant in the Room that's sort of a how-to that's coming out in a few weeks.
Oh.
Okay.
So we are dabbling in other things, but the neat thing about what we do is that the authors keep 100% of the profits. We are a service provider. We just help them have the best product they can have.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Well, that would probably send a screaming call out to people that love to write, that have come to a position in their adventure where they say, I can't write anymore because I don't know how to publish.
That's exactly right. It's called Solander Press, and it's named after a ancient word, Solander, which means a magic box that keeps all your valuable possessions.
We all need one of those. So, have you ever been in that position where you started writing and you had a love for writing, but you had to, I'm sure you can tell me horror stories of trying to find the right publisher.
Well, I tell you, my journey started mainly through the educational world. So I got really lucky because of my PhD. I was able to work with children on the autism spectrum. So my book, Teaching Young Children with Autism Spectrum Disorder, was picked up by the #1 publisher of teacher resources.
Wow.
Griffin House Books.
So you had I'm sorry. You had somebody that was just salivating for that material.
That's right. And so I had been both traditionally published and indie published. And there's some pros and cons to all of it.
Yeah.
It's harder for people to get traditionally published now because most places want you to have an agent, and it's very difficult to get an agent. And a lot of the traditional places are taking 2 and 3 and 4 and even 5 years to publish a book.
Ooh.
Wow.
And if you're in that age group where you may not have that much life left, you don't want to wait that long. So I've been very lucky that I've been on both sides of the fence, so to speak. I had worked for a traditional publisher. I was the head of research development and publishing for Kaplan Early Learning Company, which is the largest company in the world for early childhood products. So I did that, and so once I retired from being college professor, I decided to open Solander Press, not only so that I could publish my own books, but so that I could publish books of people out there, because I want there to be children's books that are meaningful, children's books that are not preachy and not at all condescending, but books that kind of have a message or that teach children things they don't know.
Maybe like positive, it leaves them with a positive reinforcement, I would assume.
A positive reinforcement, and then I love history. So 2 of my books are historical fiction. One is about a 19-year-old girl who climbed Pikes Peak. She was the very first known pioneer woman to climb Pikes Peak. She did it at 19. And then my other historical is about Johnny Fry, who was the Pony Express rider, who was also a teenager, and he was the first Pony Express rider going west.
Wow.
So those are my 2 books that I have done that are historical. And The Fastest to Win, the Johnny Fry book, won a Will Rogers Medallion Award for excellence in children's literature 2 years ago.
Wow.
Okay. Are you working on anything presently?
Oh, I am. I'm always working on something.
Have you got more than one project going?
No. Well, kind of. I have all of my authors I have to keep up with. But I spent the last week in Sedona, Arizona, which is my happy place. I had a big birthday, and I came up with an idea for a story that just might be lots of fun about a little boy who meets an alien in the desert, and that's
wow. You have a lot of genres you cover. It appears. So that's awesome.
I do, but my love is children's literature. My love is books for children.
Yeah.
I have one that just came out in January that is just doing great, called The 3 Little Pigs and the Not So Big Bad Wolf.
Oh, okay.
And this is a retelling of The 3 Little Pigs, but in which the wolf is a community organizer, and he wants to get all the animals together to help each other.
Okay.
And one of the pigs is all in, and the other 2 aren't having any of it.
Oh my gosh,
so,
skeptical.
It's been really a fun thing to do.
That's cool.
I love to write. I love to work with authors, and so I come by it somewhat naturally. My father was a Protestant minister. My mother was a semi-professional actress, and they were together for 54 years. So I had a very diverse upbringing, to say the least.
Right. But that's cool.
Now
that gives you a lot of material maybe in your mind, to come up with.
Yeah, I want to write a memoir, but I need about 4 or 5 more people to die first.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
Well, all righty
then.
Oh
man, we have some of your books up on the screen. Fast as the Wind, Bloomers on Pikes Peak. Yes, okay. And then the 3 little. You talked about these. Okay, these are the 3 you're talking about. Okay, good.
These are the 3 that are out. But now, one thing that was really exciting: the very first children's book I published, that was published. It was called Anderson the Ornithologist, and it was about a little boy with autism who made his first friend through his love for bird watching. And that book was bought from me. All rights were published by a major early childhood publishing company, Frog Street Press, out of Texas, and they have now put that book in all of their 3-year-old curriculum.
That's neat.
That's awesome.
And so that was a book that was near and dear to my heart.
Have you written a book that you didn't think was going to be that popular and turned out to be?
Wow. Yeah. Yes. Way back in the very, very, very beginning stages, a friend of mine and I, and we're talking 30 years ago, we both lost a parent. Mm-hmm. And we realized that the surviving parent didn't know what to do. So we got together and we actually self-published. This was before you could really publish. We self-published a book called You Can't Leave Till You Do the Paperwork. And it was about all the things that a surviving person needed to know.
Yeah.
And back then there was nothing like that. And we thought, well, if it's a lark, we'll sell it a few. And the National Funeral Home Association picked it up.
Oh, my gosh. You never know.
Like, oh, my gosh. Because we thought this book would be just a few friends would buy it, and that would be that.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't know it was going to be a handbook.
No, I did not.
What is popular, and maybe you don't know the answer to this, what is popular or trendy right now that more authors should be writing to satisfy?
Well, I think it depends depends, because considering that what you write now, even under the best circumstances, isn't going to come out till a year from now.
Yeah.
And in some cases 2 or 3 years,
yeah.
you almost have to learn to be a trendsetter.
Okay. Right.
You know, because what is popular today isn't going to be popular tomorrow.
Yeah. Right.
And so, but in children's books, one of the trends that I find as an educator and as a children's author who champions children's literature that I'm disappointed in is what I call off-color books. You know, there's one out right now about Icky Dicky Don't Ticky You're Nosy, and you know, Billy Sparks and Cuckoo Trails, and you know, to me, that's not the kind of children's book I want.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I want books that are going to be well, even Charlotte, you talk about Charlotte and her sister, they just did a book on the Crescent Hotel.
Yes.
That is just amazing about Morris the Ghost Cat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's teaching children about the history of an area where they can visit.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
I want books that are enjoyable. I want books that children will read. But you have to remember, children aren't the ones buying the book.
That's exactly right.
People buying the book are the parents and the grandparents, the teachers and the librarians.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's why I often say, you know, yes, you can self-publish your book. You can edit it yourself, and you can get online and get a template, and you can throw it up on Amazon because people are doing it by the thousands a day. But you'll have, at that point, a self-published book.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
An indie-published book, which is what we do, we take that book, but we connect you with the best illustrators that you can afford. We connect you with a layout and design person, Sharon Keziah Holmes, who I think you've had on your show.
Yes.
And then I help you do the marketing and help you make sure that you get a good cover design. Because the two things that sells a book are the cover and what's on the back.
Wow.
Well, there you go. Good to know.
So many authors don't know that on the back they aren't supposed to tell the whole story.
Right.
Because if you tell the whole story on the back, who's going to want to buy the book?
It's like you bought the Cliff Notes and don't need anything.
Yeah.
That's right. So I'm really big on the marketing piece.
Yeah.
I help my authors learn how to market.
Okay.
My newest book, which will be out in just about 2 weeks, is The Elephant in the Room, actually is a guide to indie publishing. And it was written just to help authors who say, hey, I don't know if I've got 5 years to get an agent, and I don't know if there's just so few. Every year there are fewer and fewer indie publishers.
Yeah.
I mean, traditional publishers. And so, you know, and some of them aren't reputable. I won't mention any names, but I can tell you I got involved with one, and it was a very bad experience.
Oh, boy.
It helped me learn a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Stuff I should have known in the first place. But, you know, I got involved with one that didn't necessarily give out their royalties in what I would consider to be an ethical manner.
Yeah.
So and didn't treat their authors well. And so that was part of the reason I founded Solander. I want my authors to be all excited. They're all getting together at there's a conference in Springfield, Missouri called Between the Pages, the 6th, 7th, and 8th of June. And my authors are coming from all over the country to that conference. Because it's a great conference.
Tell us
and we're all getting together.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But tell us where we can get your books before we run out of time.
Amazon.
Okay.
My books are all available on Amazon. Or you can go to solanderpress.com, and there are click-through buttons.
Sweet. Well, Clarissa.
So before we
go ahead.
Before we run out of time, I want to do one quick plug for My Love, which is Ozark Creative Writers Conference, the 9th through 11th in Eureka Springs. We have been there since 1978, and it's a great writers' conference, and you'll meet lots of other wonderful writers. So it's closed for a lot of people in your listening area.
What month is that?
It's October 9th through 11th. So OzarkCreativeWriters.com.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, Clarissa, thank you for visiting with us today and telling us about your
and when
your ventures.
When Elephant in the Room comes out, and when the weather's nice, maybe we can have you come back in the studio and we'll talk to you a little bit more about it.
Keep that dog inside.
It's going to be 99 cents when it comes out on ebook. So
okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Clarissa.
you, Clarissa. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right.
That was Clarissa Willis.
Yes.
We need to take a break, and when we return, we will have Austin Mayer, and he is Airport Marketing and Relations, and Judy McCutcheon from the Boone County Airport. So we invite you to stay with us. We'll be right back after.
Around the Table on the original KHOC.
Welcome back to Around the Table with Dan and Ann. You're so goofy.
I'm waiting for the microphone to fall. This one kind of...
It's kind of squirrely. It'll fall out of that thing and just hang.
I know.
Haven't you ever fallen out of something and just hung?
I just hung there.
We have in the studio Austin Mayer and, Judy McCutcheon, who I don't know if she's going to speak or not. We'll find out.
Oh, yeah, she'll speak.
Austin is an airport... Well, tell us what your title is, Austin.
Yeah, perfect. I'm Austin Mayer. I'm with Southern Airways Express. We do the commercial flying in and out of the Harrison Airport, Boone County Airport. We go to Memphis and Dallas. I do airport relations.
Okay.
So airport and industry relations.
You keep everybody happy?
Everyone happy, especially Judy, hopefully.
Well, you got to keep Judy happy.
Judy
Come
happy,
on.
yeah. Judy's my favorite. I work with probably 10 or so different airports and 10 or so different Judys, and Judy's definitely the most fun.
He really means there's only one Judy.
There's
That's
one
right.
Judy, yeah.
Thank goodness. He couldn't have stood more than one in his world.
So what do you want to relay to people that maybe do use Southern Airways, but also people who haven't
tried it
yet?
Yeah, exactly. I think the biggest thing to relay are our interline agreements that we have with American Airlines, United Airlines. Those are probably the two most important. And here, American Airlines would be the most important because we're flying to Dallas from here, which is American's largest hub in their system. So when you book those interline tickets, you can either book it on our website, iflysouthern.com, or you can book it on americanairlines.com. You book from Harrison to Los Angeles, Harrison to Hawaii, wherever you're going, and it books you one continuous ticket. So then when you get here, you check your bag, it goes all the way through, you land in Dallas, you move on to the next flight, and you continue on
So
American
once you
Airlines.
leave here, do you have to go through security in the bigger airport?
Once you land in Dallas,
once you do.
yeah, you would go through
But
security.
you don't have to go find your bag because it's already checked
that all
through.
goes through for you, and then the ticket is protected on either way that you're traveling. So if you're leaving here and the flight is delayed or something, then you're protected onto the next American flight to Los Angeles once you're in Dallas.
Meaning what? What do you mean protected?
So it's all built into one ticket. So they're expecting you in Dallas. If you book your ticket separately, the ticket from Dallas to Hawaii doesn't communicate with the ticket out of here, but you'd want to book it all continuously. So then if you're delayed here, they'll move you on to the next flight in Dallas. And then the same in reverse, if you're in Los Angeles, say that's your final destination, and you're in Los Angeles flying to Dallas on American Airlines and then connecting onto our flight up into here, the same protection would work as well. So that flight's delayed from LA to Dallas, then they would just move you on to the next flight out of here.
I want to say that makes it easier because then they can make sure that you are on a flight that will work with your schedule.
Yeah, exactly. So
rather than you having to do it yourself.
And American, of course, is the biggest one. So if you're going to iflysouthern.com, searching from Harrison, so HRO to anywhere, it's going to give you a continuous ticket. Same with if you're on American's website. So if you're a business person in New York or Seattle and you're looking to come to Harrison, you could look at American Airlines site and it shows that Harrison is an option. So it really puts Harrison on the map that way as well. And that works the same with United Airlines, Hawaiian, Alaska, and then we just got Japan Airlines.
Now, is there a weight limit on bags out of Harrison?
It's basically the same as any other carrier.
Because 50 is kind of the breaking point.
So we've got the Caravan. The Cessna Caravan is what we operate in and out of here. It has a large amount of cargo space, which is good. So your bags are going with you. You know, there's never an issue.
I'm like at 48.
Yeah, bring some stuff. Yeah, bring some stuff with you. You can bring your golf clubs. You can bring your skis if you're going on a ski trip. Anything you bring it and it fits on that plane.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think we forget that. In that, when you're thinking about going to St. Lucia or something like that, you think, I've got to fly out of Springfield. You don't necessarily have to.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, and especially with those interline agreements, it makes it very, very seamless. With the interline agreement, we have that connection with those other carriers, but it also gives us a lot of control over the local route, which would be to Memphis or to Dallas, and we can price that accordingly. So it's usually very affordable to fly to either of those places, and then that fare is basically just tacked on and built into one continuous fare when you book the interline agreement over American.
Harrison offers 2 flights to Dallas. Is that
That's
right?
Correct. 2 round trips.
2 round trips.
7 days
a
week.
day. Oh, okay. Every day. That's pretty handy because
we're hoping to add more to Dallas. Yeah.
Do lots of people fly to Dallas, I guess?
Yeah, the Dallas route
it's a big
is
hub.
really busy.
Yeah,
we have a couple flights to Memphis and those ones aren't doing. There's not a lot of connectability over Memphis,
Right?
Since Delta's dehubbed it. There's not a lot going on in Memphis, so the demand is there for Dallas, and so that's what we're looking to do something to where we can get more capacity to Dallas.
That's awesome, actually. So how are you going to do that? No, I'm just kidding.
We just point the flight the other way from Memphis to Dallas, but we've got some things to work through for that. But yeah, the Dallas route is really exciting for us, and a lot of that has to do with the interline agreement, with American out of there.
Right.
Yeah.
And even if your flight, say your first flight was delayed here, then I'm sure you can get on
it gets reticketed onto the next American flight.
Next one,
yeah,
and,
when you're doing that connection,
and all the connections will.
So you don't understand what she's doing. She's plotting her next trip.
That's great. Yeah. And then
Always.
you get to leave from here. There's free parking.
Right.
So you're not driving to Springfield. You're not driving, to wherever, Tulsa, whatever, XNA. Your cost is there for the. A lot of people don't factor in all of those costs when they're planning a trip.
You used to say we stay in a hotel, so that would.
So you go the night before. You spend the night in the hotel. You spend the time driving. You spend the gas money driving, the wear and tear on your car, and then you're paying to park in those places. Where here you just drive up the hill. You park for free. You walk onto the plane and you fly to Dallas.
There's no security here, but you will
Dallas,
have to in your hub area.
We take you right to the security line in Dallas. You walk through and then you go onto your next flight.
The flights land at a different. I can't remember what it's called.
It's an FBO, so it's a little bit different spot, but we take you right into the terminal. You have to get into the.
That's kind of brainless, isn't it?
Yeah, TSA line, exactly. Same with your bags. Your bags, everything will go with you. And then, you go on a week trip. If you're paying $10 a day, $20 a day to park at a different airport, that adds up.
Oh, sure.
We
know that.
We know.
Yeah, and that's just parking. So when you're thinking about flying out of here, factor in all of those costs. And the majority of the time, it's going to be more affordable to fly out of here once you calculate.
And the stress level is a lot easier when you're here.
You get to see Judy.
Exactly. So why wouldn't you fly out of HRO?
It's all for Judy. We want to see Judy. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
But we want to see Judy.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Like, can I? Do you want to let our listeners and viewers know other things too? I don't want to cut you off.
That's the biggest thing, or the interline agreements. Okay. That I want people to know that you can book, continuing on from Dallas. Don't just think of, oh, we have a flight to Dallas and that's it. Think of it's the entire world. That's how these programs are designed, is to really connect Harrison and Boone County and the surrounding areas to the larger national infrastructure for flying. So, and that's exactly what it's doing.
Is it fairly easy on the Southwestern website to do that?
Absolutely. Yep. You put in HRO, which is Harrison's airport code, or Harrison, and then whatever, and then it'll give you options. Yeah. Or like I said, if you're coming in from somewhere else and you don't realize, that it's Southern flying here, you go to American's website, you go to United's website, you can do the same thing there, and Harrison shows up.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Do you know what? I can't see the clock.
That's all right. You can't see the clock.
No.
That's
I just want to make
50,
sure.
52.
Okay. All right.
We should probably.
Yeah, but I think that's the biggest thing to convey is remember those interline agreements and the connectability. And then, when you're thinking about flying and planning your trip, think about all of the costs that come with going to a different airport and saving the money and the hassle by flying locally.
There you go. Fly out of HRO.
Yeah. Some of the great amenities while you're here is you've got rental cars.
Exactly.
Yeah. And once if people are listening to this and want to come to Harrison, they can
rent a car.
They can they can do their flight and then rent a car when they're here.
Exactly.
Right. A lot of our airports our size don't even have car rental companies. We've got Hertz and Enterprise.
Yeah.
Right.
And they can do the one ways or, the local rentals. So fly in, get a car and go.
Yeah.
That's good to remember, if people are listening who have businesses here and they need to bring people in, remember that you can book that all the way through. They land, they pick up a car, they can come do their business, and then, drop the car back and be on their way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming and first of all, for coming in and enlightening us with all the info so that to make travel easier for our local people.
Yeah, sure. Right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You bet. All right.
Appreciate it.
Well, Judy, you'll just have to come back and talk to us sometime.
I can do that.
I don't have time today. Sorry. We need to take our last break, and we'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
Town TV, channel 26.1.
Welcome back as we're closing out the show. And we want to mention that Stone Bank is our sponsors, and we appreciate them very much. Very, very much. And please be careful with the weather today because early could be
bad. Today is National Walking Day. I don't think we're going to be doing much walking
unless
today.
Unless it's on a treadmill.
On a treadmill or down at Creekside. You can do some walking
down
there.
There you go. Perfect.
Peanut butter and jelly day. Sometimes for supper, I've eaten too much during the lunch period, and I think I'll just eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Sometimes you do popcorn.
Sometimes
you do.
Yeah.
See, I pay attention.
And you can put popcorn in between the sandwich.
That's disgusting.
Okay.
It's also International Fact-Checking Day, and I'm going to fact-check whether you actually do that or not, Dan. It's also World Autism Day.
Okay.
Awareness Day, I should say. So light it up blue.
And then also, this is the day that they start the 25% tariffs on cars. Today might not be the best day to splurge on a new vehicle. Now that President Trump's 25% tariff on foreign cars. And we're done. We're out.
It didn't do it.
That's fine.
What do I do?
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.